Reddeos presents r/AskReddit. If you enjoy the video, show your support by commenting, liking and subscribing to the channel. Left-handed people of Reddit, what is the hardest thing to find for your left-handed needs? Those desks that are attached to the seats. Those things have an armrest on the right side, but I can't rest my left hand. Also, they're too small for anything and can't fit on them. You biology class. Edit, thanks for silver kind stranger. Holy, this blew up. Scissors. My so is left-handed. I'm right-handed. For some reason, 75% of the time, I sit to the left of her when we sit down to eat. The battle of the elbows commences. When going out to eat and telling people I need to sit on the left of them if they don't want to elbow fight. They never understand. Writing on a whiteboard is pointless. Sweeping with a broom from the left side usually unscrews the broom head. Power tools, drills, circular saws, grinders, etc. etc. Can't read the numbers on measuring cups. People asking me how I write all weird. Painfully and messily. Pencils and markers that don't smear as your hand slides over what you've just written. Being a lefty can be a struggle as a kid, but you learn how to deal living in a right-handed world. Either with workarounds or by developing right-handed dexterity. I'm completely left-handed. I wouldn't claim to be ambidextrous, but I bet that most other lefties and I could use our right hands better than most righties could use their left. Only because of how often we have to use our weak hands. A left-handed desk in school. Not that it's hard or that inconvenient, but card readers are almost always made for swiping on the right-hand side. I've learned to use right-handed things, except spiral notebooks. Those things. I use scissors and can openers with my right hand though. It took me like 20 years how to work out a can opener, though. Scissors, because if you use right-handed scissors it does that thing where it only bends the paper, not actually cut it. Life is hard living in a right-handed society. We are the true minority. I work in medical. Nurse. Every scissor, every type of scissor is right-handed. All in all, I have one scissor available to me that's left-handed and it's for paper, because I begged the head nurse long enough to help me. Edit, by type of scissor, I mean surgical sterile scissors. Tools. Anything ergonomic. You take the way they design cameras and you can't hold it in your left hand because it's molded to be held in a right hand. Computer mice are another example. It seems like more computers come with a less ergonomic version of miso, but anything you buy seems to be weirdly shaped for right hands. Edit. I appreciate everybody's observation that you can modify the operating system to flip switches on a mouse. Which switch I click isn't the problem because I never changed the clicks. My mouse works exactly the way a right-handed mouse works. The problem is when the mouse is designed to be used for right-handed people. See something like the Logitech M570. There is no left-hand version of this mouse and there's no way you can use this mouse with your left hand unless you compromise. And that's what this posting was about, the compromises that left-handed people have to make in this world. And another thing, if playing the guitar with your dominant hand were a thing, then all right-handed players would be playing left-handed guitars and left-handed players would be playing right-handed guitars. The problem wouldn't change. People who don't notice your left-handedness, say you're a lefty, and / or that means you're in your right mind. And then proceed to tell you how they have a second cousin who's left-handed. Like we're unicorns and it's a point of pride that you have spotted 2 in your lifetime. Girlfriend. I never understood the physics, so I guess scissors just somehow know you're left-handed and with you when you try to cut. Computer mice. Less of a problem these days, but I used to struggle when I did tech support, which involved working on dozens of different workstations, all set up for righties. Even now I've never bothered changing my mouse settings for left-handed use. I just hold my mouse in a sort of awkward diagonal way and use my index finger for both buttons. I've never looked, but I can imagine left-handed ergonomic mice aren't too common either. Guns. My family mercilessly mock me when there's a fork and spoon for dessert. I eat with a knife and fork as a right-handed person would, so I'm used to using a fork in my left hand. When I'm eating a dessert with just a spoon, I'll also use my left hand. It's very forky, in my head. However, when there's a dessert that is best attacked with a fork and a spoon, I can't cope since one of the utensils would have to go in the wrong hand. My family can't grasp this, as they usually use a fork and a spoon in different hands, being right-handed freaks. I've given up after decades of abuse and just use one or the other now, with only an occasional nudge from the other implement if absolutely necessary. Guitars. Can openers. Writing or drawing on anything on the wall. Blackboard, dry erase board, etc. It's all gone. Ned Flanders' store. Guitars. There is always one left-handed one available, and normally it's not even strung. I once tried to learn cello. There are no left-handed cellos. Righties kept saying that it should be easier to play since I can finger with my left hand. My question to them, then why don't you finger with your right hand? Never saw a left-handed binder, notepad, etc. Such a pain having the rings or notepad binding under my hand while trying to write. The number pad on computer keyboards is always on the right, making it challenging for lefties to add columns of numbers. I can't stand trying to write in a binder. It becomes obnoxious super quickly. I either have to take the paper out, or struggle through having the ring against my hand. Literally everything. I flip the spiral notebook over and write from the back so it is not in the way. Took me too long to figure that one out. Computer mice. As a gamer, I am restricted to either ambidextrous or nothing. My mom is left-handed. She had a calligraphy in high school and her teacher would always give her bad marks because she just couldn't get the angles right. She didn't want to smear her hand or paper, so she had to hold her pen a certain way and it just wouldn't work. Bowling. I was never big into bowling, but as a kid a lot of my friends would have birthday parties at bowling alleys. The holes are drilled specifically for the right hand, so after about one game my fingers would be really sore. Lefty school desk. I'm gonna have a back disorder for leaning to write in every class. A flip case for my phone that opens on the left, so I can open it with one hand. Plus I can't reach the fingerprint scanner on the back because the fold is in the way. I have never found a left-handed watch. Meaning, wearing the watch on my right wrist with the turn thingy on the left so I can adjust it with my left hand. It's always on the right and you have to bend your hand weird to turn it. Apple watches are the best and you can adjust it to be on the left side. I almost cried when I was setting it up. Measuring jugs when the measurements are only on the front if you're holding in your right hand. Face with rolling eyes. Scissors. A chainsaw. I need to physically adapt to chainsaws since it's not safe to run it the opposite way than it's supposed to be run. There's lots of really inconspicuous things. For example, my Hoover has a foot switch to turn it on, but it's in the left side of the Hoover, so to turn it in when holding it in my left hand I have to reach round the Hoover. Another similar thing is that I had a long-handled dustpan and brush and the dustpan had a spiked bit to scrape hair off the brush, but only one side, so if you're left-handed you have to reach round. Things like this don't make utensils unusable, but it's just annoying. Nothing at all, I just pop into my local lifter room and get it all sinisterly settled. Scissors. Some claim to be left-handed but aren't. 500 right-handed guitars at Guitar Center, 1 left-handed guitar. Lots of pens and pencils have little motivational quotes on them, but I can't read it as a lefty since it's upside down. I never got that motivation and am now lazy. I have no issues using standard items, including scissors. I don't think I own a single left-handed item. Tape measure. Sure, they make them, but they are the crappy small ones. I want a full-size auto-locking left-handed centering tape measure. Can openers. My parents bought me an electric can opener for Christmas, but gave it to me in October after I had to go door to door twice within 2 weeks because I couldn't open a can of spaghetti sauce. A few years ago I destroyed my right wrist and some of my fingers. I had a cast on for almost 8 months. I effectively had to learn to be left-handed. I don't understand how left-handed people are just not constantly infuriated at life. Thing that was unexpectedly hard, shooting with a rifle. The hot empty shells exit is where your right hand is holding the rifle. Out of everyday things, the worst is the coffee pot. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe.